All right, how's that? Can you guys hear me? I'm going to check the stream, see if I'm getting any feedback here. Yep, it's coming through. Woo woo. All right. Hi, Connor Halligan. How are you doing today, my good friend? Let's get this squared away and let's start drawing some cool stuff. What's new and what's exciting? I'm happy to be here. Happy to be hanging out with you guys on a beautiful Thursday. Here in Pennsylvania, it's 78 degrees. Beautiful. Hey, Jared, how are you? Gonna make some, I like a little splash of lemon in my water, you know? I think that jazzes it up real nice. So what are we drawing today, guys? Ah, that's just sounds refreshing. Delightful. Oh, Jared, no problem, man. No worries. Don't ever have to apologize or anything like that. We're all just having fun here. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't know. I'm in a good mood. I think it's the weather. Like I said, it's in the 70s, and I got all the windows open in my house. Breeze is coming through. Alien? Sold, Connor. I like it. And I assume you mean the Xenomorphs from the Alien movie, not just a generic, like, gray alien. Although we could do that. We can do any kind of alien you guys want. Aliens with bug eyes, tentacles. We draw it, the terror from beyond space. Yeah, all the windows are open. Everything just, I don't know. Oh, and that broke. Everything just feels good, you know. Got a thunderstorm starting to brew. Beautiful. Metaluna Mutant. Good call. I like that. Or he and the Xenomorph fighting. You know what, Jared? I think, ding, 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 we have a winner. Because that sounds awesome. I like that. I like that. Let's do that. All right, so I'm going to switch the words here on the thing. Give me uno momento. Xenomorph versus the Metaluna Mutant. I don't know why. Why can't I get to my channel here on Twitch? There we go. It's giving me problems, man. I hate when they do that. Okay, so let me see if I can get this camera zoomed in just a pinch for you guys. I think that'll look cool, and we'll go from there. When I zoom in too far, it gets kind of blurry, I've noticed, which needless to say, I don't like. So we're just going to stick with... How's that look? Zoomed in like that? That look good? I don't want to zoom it in too much. It gets to be kind of... It gets pixelated, gets blurry. I found that out the hard way last week. Where if any of you guys stuck around last week, thank you for putting up with all the crap. I cannot believe how much trouble I had streaming last week. But it was kind of a nightmare. So I'm glad to be back this week. Doing some cool stuff. Metaluna Mutant. Let's look it up. Nice, nice. Okay. And let's get a good start off with some very rough, let's do some like action poses kind of a thing. So I think what I'm going to have is the Xenomorphs coming in from up here, like around, and the Metaluna Mutant down here fighting them off. So, as always, I like to start with, you know, big circles and just kind of go from there, just getting a feel for it put in. So there's going to be our mutant. I love that movie, This Island Earth. I know they had it on Mystery Science Theater, and I know that means a lot of people think it's not a good movie, and I guess at the end of the day it's not, but it's still awesome. I like it. I like how the guy has a big old head. I love the Metaluna mutants, are awesome. Get those sweet, sweet claws going on the mutant here. This is going to be good times. So, any of you guys gotten up to anything great? I went and saw Avengers Infinity War myself last night, which was awesome. I dug the heck out of it. As soon as the movie ended, I just wanted to go see it again. It was really good. So yeah, that was pretty much my interesting news. Other than that, I mean, standard stuff. My wife came back from England and Sweden all right, safe and sound, so I am grateful for that. We're just getting back to a normal routine. The guinea pigs are doing well. Oh, Connor, don't worry, man. I won't spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. All I'll say is it's great. And for being as big a movie as it is, like this, no spoilers here or anything, but, you know, loads of characters, lots of plot, a lot of stuff happening. It was just a great flick. They did it so well. Popcorn entertainment at its finest. So, highly recommend it. That if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Yeah, definitely both of you guys then go and check it out, man, because it is quite good, I gotta say. It's gonna be a long wait for the next one, which comes out I think May of next year, I believe. So definitely check it out when you can. I will say that I don't know if I've ever seen a movie with a cast that big balanced so well. Because if you have a favorite character in the Marvel Universe, there's a very good chance they're going to show up in this movie, and there's a very good chance they're going to have at least one great moment, either some great dialogue or a cool line or action scene or something. So like all your favorites are there, man. I've never seen them do so well with a cast before. All right, so we're gonna have our alien coming in, yay wise. Screaming here, and we're actually gonna have the Metaluna mutant has caught him in its claw, so we're going to miss that other claw there, but that's okay. That's okay. We're just roughing it in. Some sweet, sweet aliens here. One of the all-time greatest designs of any movie alien ever. Good stuff. Are you talking about, Connor, the DC, like the movies or the comics? I love DC Comics. Actually, all our comics pull list for the week between my wife and I is pretty much all DC at this point, just because the DC Rebirth line has been amazing. If you're not into DC Comics, now is a great time to get involved. But as far as the movies go, they have their moments. Comics, yeah, like I said, comics are great right now. Absolutely can't say anything bad about the DC comics we read. Our pull list is, we get a lot of Bat Family, so we get Nightwing, Batgirl and the Birds of Prey, regular old Batgirl, Batman, Super Sons is amazing, Teen Titans, Titans. We've read the trades on Aquaman, Superman, stuff like that, so really good. Connor, I could not agree with you more on that statement. You are absolutely right. Marvel's movies have been amazing. Their comics have been not. And I think one of the reasons is, with the comics, is they're so geared to their movies. How should I put this? Like, they want the comics to match the movies so much, they lose their inherent, like, I don't know, comicness, if that makes any sense. I doubt it does. I bet I'm rambling at this point. But they're so focused on getting you to go see their movies, and the comics, rather than being their own thing, are just an extension of marketing. So that's why when, like, Bendis left his great Guardians of the Galaxy run, they made it so, like, Groot was Baby Groot to tie in with the movies. And it's like, well, that's kind of dumb. That doesn't fit the what's happening in the comic books at the time. Stuff like that. And they're basically killing the X-Men in the comics, literally and metaphorically, literally and figuratively here. But I don't know. They should focus on what they're good at, telling good stories in a comic medium. You know. But I don't know. What do you guys think? What comics do you guys read, if any? So I'm going to do some, like, Metaluna architecture back here. Like the Metaluna mutant city, or one of the cities on Metaluna. Just kind of get it blurry here. And I'm going to change up this claw while we're at it. As far as the TV show goes, I'll be honest with you, we've watched the first, like, 4 seasons of Arrow and 2 or 3, I think the first 2 at least seasons of Flash, before, unfortunately, we kind of stopped watching that just due to time. I really like the first 2 seasons of Arrow. And Flash, I love its kind of pulpy sci-fi-ness. So I like them both for different reasons. I'd love to check out Black Lightning. And Legends of Tomorrow, I've seen the first season of that, and it just wasn't nearly as as good as the other two. But yeah, so I like them both for different reasons. I guess that's the answer to that one. Hey Kevin, how you doing today? I've heard about Arrow getting awful, so that's kind of when we stopped watching it. Okie dokie. Oh, fresh water. Mm-mm. So good. So good. All right, let's start markering. So, if I had my wish for a CW TV show, it would be Gilbert Gottfried, starring as Superman's villain, Mr. Mixelplexus. Like he, you know, but it's live action. And there's no Superman in it. It's just Gilbert, like, doing random, like, fifth dimensional things. I think that would be great. That's just me. I know people probably would feel differently about that. They'd be like, we want Superman in it. And I'm like, no Superman, just Gilbert. Okay, so let's get these brains drawn in. Love it. Love a creature with exposed brains. I mean, what can I say? I am partial. The biggest problem that we're going to have, I think, is when we go in to put, what the hell is it called? The veins on this dude's head. That's going to be a little rough. But we're going to get through it. We're going to stick together. And it's going to be awesome, you guys. Really good stuff. I think I would also love for them to do... like just a cool I think Aquaman's the type of superhero that would do great on a TV show like that. Like, because you can have the Atlantean politics, you could take them, you know, completely remove it from the surface world, or, you know, there doesn't have to be any other heroes involved in it. Just Aquaman and his wife Mara just doing sweet, cool stuff. That would be a good one. Although I did like Jason Momoa in the movie, although that character that he played I don't think was really Aquaman. I think he played a different character entirely. They just happened to name him Aquaman. But I still like that character. It was good. Alright, Xenomorph here. And this is going to be where things get a little weird because there's so many like weird biomechanical bits to him. And I'm not even going to really worry too much about it. I'm just going to kind of slap in some crazy cockamamie lines here and there and hope for the best, you know. You can always sort it out and make it a little different later. What I don't understand about the DC movies is you have these amazing characters. How stinking hard is it to make these movies good? Like every single stream we talk about what ifs in movies, like what if they did this? What if this happened? What if instead they did... And every one of those ideas that we come up with is better than what they come up with in their movies. Like, how is making a Superman movie this stinking difficult? I do not get it, you guys. I don't get it. How is making a Star Wars movie this this hard? Why do you guys have such trouble with it? I don't know. I digress. I'm armchair quarterbacking here. Something I'm very good at, by the way. Alright, Metaluna Mutant, you're coming along nice with your nice blue colors. Where was my Prussian blue? Yeah, but definitely go see Infinity War if you haven't, you guys. It's pretty amazing. Speaking of Star Wars, I did watch the new Star Wars, the Last Jedi. It was more entertaining than it should have been, but not a good Star Wars movie at all. But at least I had fun with it. I almost kind of like it in the same way that I like any other bad movie that's out there. You know? Like, I kind of dig that. It's almost like Star Wars finally made itself a B movie. Just a not good that you can laugh. Like, what were they thinking? The whole movie I was like, what were they thinking? Alright, let's add some warm gray here to our friendly alien. Really, he just wants some hugs and kisses from the Metaluna Mutant, but I don't know if he's going to get them. I don't know. Time will tell. In other news, The Forest, if you guys know I've played that game on occasion, The Forest has finally left its pre-alpha stage. It is officially like a launch title, or not a launch title, but it's, rather than being in its alpha stage, it's a full game now. So I've only seen about a half hour's worth of random shenanigans within it, and it looks cool, man. It looks like they added some cool stuff, cool features. I know they've said there's alternate endings to the game, and a number of other cool features added that I can't wait to poke around with and figure out what's going on with all that. There we go. Nice red eye sockety things in, whatever the heck they are. And get some of this crap erased. There we go. Pardon me. Oh, and my eraser just kicked it. Guys, everything is breaking on me. Okie dokie. So that'll be good. Yeah, so hopefully this weekend I can put in maybe an hour or two, poke around in the new game, take a look, see what's new and exciting in the forest, and figure out how that's going down. Apparently there'll be new enemies, which is always appreciated. I do love new enemies, and all kinds of new stuff, so looking forward to that. So definitely, if you guys pick up the game, now's a good time to do it, as it's, like I said, it's the full version rather than the pre-alpha. So $20 on Steam, and I think it's still a good deal for what you get out of it. Alrighty. Get some of this stuff erased. Kevin, yeah, Alien Covenant I liked it, but it's the episode 1 of the Aliens franchise. Yeah, it's like what are they doing? The idea that the Xenomorphs aren't like a, you know, I don't know, thousands of years old or however old or whatever, that they're just like, oh yeah, 100 years ago, created by some dude, some android. So stupid. But yeah, an entertaining watch. Like while I was watching the movie, it's just like the new Star Wars. While I was watching it, it was like, oh, I'm really entertained by this. And then afterwards, I'm like, well, that completely just wrecks the series continuity. But, you know, I like the characters. I like David, the android. I think he's awesome. I like, what was her name? The actress. Catherine Watterson as, like, the main person. I thought she was pretty good. I'd watch her in other stuff. But yeah, it's almost like they made the perfect Alien movie. It was called Alien. It was the first one. And then the second one was amazing too. And then you kind of ran out of stuff to do, didn't you guys? I don't know. But that's okay. I don't mind it. I remember going to see Alien Resurrection in the theaters. And I liked it then. I like it now. It's a good like popcorn movie with aliens in it. It's good times. There we go. Get that in there. Throw in some of that. Got to erase around here. The Alien Resurrection. Joss Whedon like officially disowns any kind of work he did on that movie. I think that's awesome. One day I hope to be so rich and famous that I can choose to disown projects that I've worked on. There we go. But yeah, as far as Aliens movies goes, you know, they're all gonna suck from now on. That's just a rule. But I'm gonna want to go see them anyway. Like regardless, I just don't care enough to say no. Oh, I'm not going to see that. I'm like, yeah, I'll go see all of them. How about you guys? Are there any movies that when they come out, you just on principle refuse to see them? Like, even if they look somewhat interesting, or even if you're like, well, maybe it's better than the last one, that you're just like, no, I can't do it. And are those movies Transformers movies? Poor Optimus. Alright, let's start adding in more brains. Exactly. You know, it's like you just take it for granted. They're a crashed ship on an isolated planet. Where they come from? I don't know. Somewhere else, not here. That's all you need to know. It's like, could you imagine if a film studio took like what the fans say, so the questions that some random fan on the internet has, and they took it so so strongly that they made an entire movie out of it. Like, if someone out there in the world was like, there's fans actually asking why the Death Star was built with that dumb hole in it, we should make an entire movie to let fans know why that came to be. Or could you imagine if someone was dumb enough to make an Obi-Wan Kenobi prequel movie, or 3 of them? Just how stupid. Was anybody actually asking those questions? What was Darth Vader like as a child? Man, nobody would be that stupid to make that movie. Sorry guys, like I said, I watched that new Star Wars, so I got Star Wars on the brain. Yeah, I agree. It's almost like with the aliens, or not almost, it is, but the less you know, the better, I think. I actually like the way, if you've ever read any of the Dark Horse Aliens comics from the 90s would go, and rather than like being like, let's go to the past, it's, they're telling you about the aliens as a species in the present, like, timeline, and I like that a lot. Like that one where the guy, he's a scientist, he has a whole bunch of aliens in, like, essentially a maze, like a rat maze, and he's like observing their behavior and learning about how they operate and do stuff. And it's not a prequel or anything. He's doing that now, and I think that's so cool. You know? There was flashbacks in that specific comic, and they're actually pretty neat, where his ship crashed. I can't remember how it went. He like showed them willingness, the aliens' willingness to do what they needed, and they needed someone to do something within the hive, like manual stuff, like move stuff around or whatever. Can't remember what. So they kept him alive for a while in the hive, and he like learned about alien you know, how they like operate and how they how their social structure and everything else goes. And it was pretty cool. I dug that, you know. It doesn't change the timeline. It doesn't, learning that the aliens do things differently in their hives doesn't change Alien or aliens. Just had a super thought. If anybody out there has the money to put up, you could be the executive producer on the new film I'm writing, Aliens. That's the Pittsburgh Alien movie, Aliens. It's gonna be good. Spoiler alert. I think a can of Iron City beer is gonna burst out of Tom Brady's chest at the end of the movie. Aliens. Anyway, yeah, Aliens comics are cool stuff, and they got cool covers, which I dug a lot. Dug them back then, and I dig them now. Let's add some violet color to this alien. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of green, too. Because I don't know. The aliens and green just work together. It's kind of bronze color. Jared, I think you hit the proverbial nail on the head, my friend. Yeah, it's one of the biggest reasons I think John Carpenter's The Thing is one of the all-time best horror movies ever, because they don't explain to you like what this thing is, where it came from, and it does a good job of setting up that how should I put this? There are rules, like the creature obeys certain rules consistently. But what those rules are, you aren't privy to. But you know that they're there. And I think that works in its favor. And I agree with you with the Rob Zombie Halloween movies. Again, I like them for just like, I just watch them and they're kind of fun at the time. But yeah, it's that whole element of like, oh, so Michael Myers was like a child sociopath or whatever, that it's like we don't really need this. Get that carapace put in there. And the double jaws are going to be in there too. Always got to have the aliens double jaws. Cool. Cool beans. Agreed completely, Jared. However, when he killed that stepdad, it was very satisfying. I will admit to that. Not a good movie, but that was at least, seeing that guy get his comeuppance was pretty enjoyable. I like that. And I will never say no to scenes of Sherry Moon Zombie stripping. What can I say? What can I say? Rob, if you're watching, you got yourself a hot wife. But yeah, and that's a thing that I feel is we'll use like Star Wars again and Disney in general as an example, right? Like the Marvel stuff. I mean, is like, I think there's a lot to be said of not knowing about a character. Or not even in horror, but just in general, but like not knowing what their background is or not knowing exactly how events unfolded. I think that's a big thing to be said. Like, I think Wolverine was so much cooler before the Origins comic came out in the 90s. Not a bad comic. Not a bad comic at all. But I think it was so much cooler when it's like, you didn't know, and you could debate with your friends. My God, he could be, 300 years old. He could be 400 years old. We have no idea. I just think that adds a certain element that a lot of modern stuff is missing. Because, Marvel Comics is like, hey, we're going to show you every facet of this character's life. Star Wars is kind of going the same route with them doing that. So yeah, I think there's something to be said for mystery. I think there's something to be said for fans wanting something and never getting it that's in a way good. Like, you as a fan might want to know, how many children did Freddy Krueger, how many children did Freddy Krueger kill when he was the Springwood Slasher? What's his body count? How bad of a killer was he that these parents would hunt him down and do this? And, but we don't, if we never see the court case, if we never see that, that's okay. That's good. We should never get that. We shouldn't ever know, oh, Freddy Krueger, he killed 4 kids, because then you go, only 4? Or Freddy Krueger killed 40 kids, because you go, only 40? There's that nice bit of mystery, and that gives you something to talk about with people. And I really dig that. I really dig being able to do that. Oh yeah, Kevin, definitely track those down if you can. Because there's a lot of cool stories and good stuff. And I love kind of alternate universe type things. There was a good series before Alien 3 came out that follows the adventures of Ripley, Newt, Hicks, and Bishop as they basically travel around and stop alien threats across the galaxy, or the universe, I guess. So yeah, definitely would recommend checking those things out. And the great thing about now is if you have like a Comixology account, my guess is they're on Comixology. You could track them down pretty easily. Okay. It's getting dim out there, guys. I think we're getting a storm coming in, and I love it. Like Thor's hammer, bring on the thunder. Let me see here. Okay. Plus, it's cooling everything down, which I like. Get some more water. There we go. Good times. There's a deleted scene where Dr. Loomis buys a gun from Dick Miller. It's good times. Dr. Loomis walks in. He's like, I've spent the last 15 years trying to keep him away. I'm going to need some weapons. 12 gauge autoloader, the 45 long slide with laser sighting, phased plasma rifle, and the 40-watt range. It's good times. It's good times. Speaking of which, Kevin, I knew I'd have this around, but this one I found in my parents' garage a couple months ago. It's number 7 of 12, so I don't know the whole story, but that cover is, like, that is gorgeous. I have no idea what's happening, but I'm loving every second of it. Deadliest of the species, man. Beautiful. Aliens of Predator cover gallery inside. That's great. So, yeah, I'm going to have to find the other ones of this, maybe on Comixology or something, and give them a read. But yeah, this one I actually have bagged and boarded, which is nice. All right, back to the crime here. So we're going to add the red veins on the Metaluna mutant near the end. But let's get this stuff put in here in the background. So we're going to make that kind of a dull purpley color. That's pretty vibrant. Oh, yeah. The covers, the covers especially. I always think, like, because doing a comic book, doing 30 or 20, whatever, 2 pages of interior art, you got to go fast, but the covers, man, are gorgeous. I think it's super cool. And I just think the aliens themselves, just in general, a lot of franchise potential. There's a lot you can do with them, and I think that's pretty neat. Have you guys played Alien Isolation, the game? I dug it like a garden. Oh yeah, man, it has gotten dark and the wind is picked up. Spooky dookie. I'm loving it, you guys. I don't know if the mic's picking up the wind. Can you guys hear that? It's so windy out there. I'm gonna get some door slamming action coming up here. Whoa. Alright guys, give me 1 sec. I gotta shut some windows here. Holy cow. That is nuts. I will be right back and I'll answer your question, Jared. Wow, you guys, that was insane. Oh, I'm sorry about that. The wind picked up so much here. Started knocking stuff over. I had to go shut all the windows in my house. Jeez, oh man. Okay, so to answer your question, Jared, I am looking right now for you real quick. Pardon me. It looks like a number of them are on Comixology, but I don't know what is what. Yeah, they have a bunch. They're like Aliens omnibuses, so check those out. That sounds awesome. Oh, shoot. I got water blowing it. Oh my god, this is a mess. 1 second, you guys. Okay, and you asked for EC Horror Comics too. Let me check. Yeah, on Comixology, we got like the EC Archives, Tales from the Crypt Volume 1. Yeah. $20. Features, looks like 4 issues in full color. Yeah, they got a bunch of them. Volume 2, Volume 4. So, yeah, Comixology. You know what, Kevin? I believe it. I'll be right back. I gotta go and batten these hatches down. Whew. I left my windows open a hair, and it just started blowing water in. Craziness. Good times, I guess. Alright, let's finish adding in some of this. Good. Oh yeah, man, no problem. It's like I'm sitting in front of a computer. I might as well just throw it in there real quick for you. No sweat. Yeah, I like them. I love the art. I'm very much. I love like Ghastly Graham Ingalls, Wally Wood, Al Williamson. Although he was more like fantasy sci-fi. All the Golden Age illustrators like that worked on like EC horror and stuff, amazing. You cannot go wrong with like EC horror. Okay. Blue violet. We've got to get a nice color for the backgrounds. Let's do something. This might seem a little wacky, but I'm okay with wacky. Yeah, are you able to hear that, Kevin, over my mic, or are you hearing it from your place? Yes, RoboCop versus Terminator, good stuff. That's before Frank Miller went completely bananas. I love the SNES game, man. Oh, so good. I can remember coming home from school and being like, it's Friday, I have all weekend to try to beat this game. And I couldn't because I sucked. Yeah, good stuff. I mean, comics in the 90s were kind of hit or miss, but yeah, I really feel Dark Horse hit their stride with stuff like that. And I like, too, that even back then they were willing to take some, like, risks with their stuff. Dark storylines that weren't, like, awful. Okay. RoboCop versus the Terminator. Yeah, my guinea pigs are probably freaking out. They do not like the storms or anything else. Hi there, I'm going to call you as Husky Good for that. But welcome to the stream, and thank you very much. We are moving along with it. I just had to go batten down my hatches because of this crazy storm. Jeez. Yeah, the guinea pigs, they will probably be none too pleased with the loud noises. Okay, there we go. Just kind of keep it fuzzy on the edges there. Well, thank you, Husky, and thank you, Hypebot. Much appreciated. I always like to thank Hypebot because I know it's just a, it's an automated feature or whatever, but like when the robots rise up to kill all of us, Hypebot is going to remember that I was nice to him or her. Or any other gender that the robots decide to make for themselves. No judgments. So be polite to machines. You never know when they're going to go crazy and start killing you. Yep, I did, Kevin. Not in the 90s, but later on. Like, I probably read it like 5-6 years ago. And it's cool. Like, I love it. Plus, RoboCop, anytime I hear him speak, even in the comics, it's the voice of Peter Weller for me. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Alright, I think I gotta refill this guy. Blue 99, brand spanking new, you guys. Let's get it refilled. There we go. Big long needle. Now, kids, don't inject this in a terrible idea to give yourself a new tattoo. I think that would be awful. So when stabbing things with a giant needle, all I'm saying is be careful. Sounds like the rain's starting to die down just a pinch. There we go. I am going to crack a window because now with the air conditioning off, it's getting hot in here. Dang, it is. Okay. There it is. Get a little air flowing in here. As long as it's not blowing into the house, the water, I don't mind. Okay, so hopefully this isn't too full. Oh, it's juicy. There we go. Get that nice blue in. We'll go over the other side then too. Yeah, I didn't know they had tornadoes last night. That's doesn't surprise me in the least. Stay safe out there, kids. But man, for a while it felt great. That breeze coming in. Beautiful. It's one thing I love about summertime is the summertime storms. I don't know about you guys, but a good like thunderstorm when you got nowhere to go, but you can hang out at your house and I don't know, watch a horror movie, read some old EC comics or a Predator comic or something, and just hang out. Like that's great. If you have a covered porch, sit on the porch. Listen to the sound of that thunder rolling in. Love it. Okay. And now let's get in all these fingers. My favorite part. Ugh. With Toys R Us going out of business, I've been poking my head in every couple days to see if they have how big the discount is, because they have a couple of the NECA toys there, and one of them is the RoboCop versus the Terminator toy, the action figure with RoboCop with all the crazy weapons and stuff. I think it's that one. It's that, or they might only have the Terminator left. But either way, cool figure. I dig it like a garden. Okay, let's add in some extra color in here. So less streaky. Less streaky and a little more faded. That's what we need. Hi, Smart Llama. How are you? Oh, and thank you. Thank you. What I tell everybody, man, practice. Just, that's literally... I know it. I know coming from somebody that already can draw relatively well, that doesn't carry a whole lot of weight. You know, everybody says practice. But seriously, practice... Anybody can draw, I guess is what I'm saying. You can too. But it just takes practice. But thank you for joining in the stream, and welcome. How are you today? Let's add just a pinch more green to the alien here. Aliens and that green just go well together. I don't know why. Good deal. Hey, and no problem, Smart Llama. Thank you for stopping by. We'll see you later. Okay. Where am I? Ice Ocean. It's a pretty color. Let's do that. A little bit of green on the Metaluna Mutant 2. Tying it all together, folks. Tying it all together. Especially in those shadow areas. There we go. Yeah, I still can hear, even right now, the RoboCop versus the Terminator theme song from the game in my mind, like when you start it up. There's not much music to it. It's more like just a badass like sound. Dun 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 dun. So good. That's one of those games that for whatever reason just never stuck in my SNES collection. Like I have a ton of Super Nintendo games, but I don't think I still have that one. I need to like re-buy it. Okay. Good, great, grand, and wonderful. Let's get into the markerizing, or the inkerizing portion of our show today. And then, of course, we'll go in later with the red. Don't let me forget. And we're going to do all those cool veins and stuff in the dude's head. Let me grab my palette. All right, palette and water are check. Check, check, and double check. And where's my ink? You know, I just had your ink. Where'd you go? Ah, hiding from me. Okay. And I actually have all 0 to quad 0 I've got. So I'm going to go with double 0 today. Why? Fun? I don't know. For the lulz. And I'm going to start with the Metaluna Mutant's eye here. That feels like a good starting point for me, so I don't know. Sometimes, like, if it just feels good, you just do it, you know, with art. Like that, sometimes things are like, that just feels right to start there, so listen to your gut, kids. And then, of course, we'll move on to the Metaluna Mutant's big old brain. Love it. Metaluna Mutant never got as popular as some of the other Universal monsters, and I think that's kind of a shame, because it's a terrific design. I think it's just a cool looking creature. And then, of course, it's our normal brain stuff getting added in. Always a good time. There's no secret to brains, just drawing some weird wrinkly bits. Biggest help, look at an actual brain. Try to draw it. Various wrinkles and bits. His medulla oblongata. And that's good. All the little details we'll get in there later. Just the little overlapping bits and stuff like that. It's all good, fun times. And here's where I'm going to start to add in just a little bit of the veiny bits. So I'm going to remember, put in some veiny parts there. then down here in the shadow area, we can keep that pretty dark. Nice thick lines. Yeah, I always wish the Metaluna Mutant got a little more play. On occasion, you'll see they'll put out like an action figure or some kind of a collectible or a pin or something like that. But just never gets the love that like Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Creature gets. It's too bad. Too bad, Metaluna Mutant. You're one cool monster. I love the look of like these bundles of nerves that are around the joints and the eyes and stuff like that. I bet you for, what was it, 56, 55, 56, that was considered pretty gruesome. There's something to be said for, in comparing these two guys, the Metaluna Mutant and the Alien, that the Alien, a great, amazing design. I'll never say it's not, but you can barely see it. That works in the context of that movie, in Alien. It works perfectly, because as we talked about before, it's mysterious. You don't know everything. You don't know, you know, the creature's life cycle and all that kind of stuff. But I think a lot of people just try to copy that. They're like, oh, we're going to have our monster be completely dark and shadowed and stuff like that. And sometimes you need a Metaluna Mutant type monster where everything's out in the open for you to see. It's kind of brightly colored, and you just got to get a good design and make it work rather than try to cover up bad design with darkness. So the Metaluna Mutant, Kevin, the Metaluna Mutant is from the 1950... I can't remember the year. Let me look it up, because now I want to know. It's from the movie This Island Earth, which was a Universal picture from 1955. Okay. 1955 Universal movie. Universal, the guys that did, you know, your famous Dracula, Frankenstein, all that kind of fun stuff. Well, they made this movie called This Island Earth, which pretty good little science fiction film. And in it, some scientists are hired on to help out with some obvious alien dudes. They have big foreheads. To help them with a science project. They're later taken to the aliens' planet of Metaluna, which is a dying planet. And on it are these Metaluna mutants, these blue brain dudes right here. And they're like the worker bees, I guess. And at the end, they're chased by a Metaluna mutant through the mines. It's a cool flick, cool like sci-fi flick. If you like things like what is the word I'm looking for? Blah blah blah. Like all the other Universal movies at the time, like Tarantula, or trying to think of some other ones that are just Universal, because like the Terror from Beyond Space is not a Universal movie. But anyway, I digress. I'm sorry. Other 50s science fiction movies, then This Island Earth is a pretty good one. Famously and controversially, This Island Earth was the movie they riffed on Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movie. A lot of people were like outraged by that, because they're like, this is a good movie. You can't riff on this. It's good. But I think, I'm not of that mentality. I think if you like something, you should be able to riff on it. Because even if it's good, it's cheesy. So yeah, that's the Metaluna Mutant. Good flick, This Island Earth. Definitely worth checking out. Especially if you're like, you know, I want to watch like a 50s sci-fi type movie. The 50s was the, if you guys that don't know, the 50s is considered the age of like the sci-fi movie. While the 30s and 40s were mostly pure horror with like Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, stuff like that. The 50s were really where the after the end of World War II, the bomb going off, science was at the big forefront. So all these science fiction movies, space travel was becoming not just like a far-fetched realm of fantasy type thing, but like an actual probability. We were getting closer all the time to actual space travel and traveling to other planets, and I think it just set people's imaginations on fire, and rightly so. You know? And so you have this glut of movies where there's creatures made by atomic radiation, where we go to other planets. A ton of Twilight Zone episodes feature going to other planets, some sci-fi elements in addition to its horror and fantasy stuff. So, really cool time period in like American filmmaking in terms of like genre films. You know, you'll always have stuff like, you know, your Oscar bait movies or your just regular old dramas, but in terms of like the genre stuff, really cool time. What a lot of people consider the last of the big great Universal monsters came out in 54 or 55, and that was the Creature from the Black Lagoon. That was a science fiction movie, more or less. So, real cool. I dig it. Then you get a lot of stinkers, too, which is also something I love, I'll be honest with you. As much as I say This Island Earth is a great movie and Tarantula's cool, you get stuff like The Beginning of the End with the giant grasshoppers, which are just regular grasshoppers. They just got regular grasshoppers and took like a photograph of a building and let the grasshoppers crawl on that photograph. And they filmed that. Like, oh my God, they're giant. So good. I love it. And one of my all-time favorite 50s monster movies. Can you guys guess what it is? I'll give you a minute to guess what one of my all-time favorite monsters is. I'll give you a hint. It's big and the movie is considered to be not very good. Hi Connor, how are you? Welcome back. A big monster from a movie that most people say isn't very good. What could it be? And it's from the 50s. And I'd love to do a marker drawing of it, especially for Monster Bash, because I think that's the con where I think something like that would go over pretty well there. But I never know. Creature from the Black Lagoon, Connor, is one of my favorites. You're right, but he's not the one I'm thinking of today. This one, like I said, it's big. I'll give you another hint. It flies. It's big and it flies. I'll give you guys a minute, then I'm going to give you another hint. Yeah, the 1950s. Cool stuff. Some other Universal ones that just off the top of my head I'm thinking, because I'm looking at my movie shelves here. The Mole People with John Agar. That's another one from Universal. That's a good one. Again, featured on Mystery Science Theater. I don't know if it's Universal, and I just watched it like a couple weeks ago, actually, for the first time in maybe a decade or more. But the brain from Planet Eros. Awesome. It's about an evil brain from outer space that comes down and takes over John Agar's body, or his body, and it has the power to like create nuclear explosions just from thought. Good stuff. Mothra is another good one, Kevin, but not the one I'm thinking of. And I think Mothra was from the first Mothra movie came out in... When did the first Mothra? It was probably the 50s. It might have came out in 61, though, I'm thinking. Rodan, another good choice. No, this flying monster is not Japanese. It is as American as apple pie and baseball. And it's as big as a battleship. Does that help narrow it down? Big as a battleship. Big as a battleship. Like a flying battleship. Love it. Another hint, it has antimatter shields. Yep, antimatter shields. You can't mess with Des. So powerful. And it follows a very peculiar pattern of travel that the main hero somehow figures out, although how will forever be a mystery to me. The Cracking with Wings? This thing does have wings, definitely. Big as a battleship. Antimatter shields. I think it's from an antimatter dimension, actually. Another good one from the 50s. Well, you guys can keep guessing if you want, or I can tell you I don't care. But another good one, if you guys want to see a really gory movie from the 50s with some cool stop-motion special effects, Fiend Without a Face. Cool as heck. That one involves, I think they're in Canada, like Manitoba, Canada. And it's a military like research station. And there's a bunch of mysterious deaths from what appear to be invisible creatures that are invisible. Cthulhu. I wish they made a Cthulhu movie in the 50s. Cthulhu is a favorite of mine, definitely. But Cthulhu is not from an antimatter dimension. He's from, apparently, our regular space. But, Fiend Without a Face, yeah, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? A bunch of deaths from invisible creatures. They can't figure out what's causing it. At the end, though, everybody gets held up in a house. And you finally see the creatures, and they're awesome. Jared for the win. I love that giant flippin' claw. Oh, what a movie. So good. That's everybody's homework. If you want to watch a 50s monster movie, watch the giant claw. I can't get me enough of that giant claw. Love it. Anyway, they turn out to be brains with antennae, and their tails or spinal cords they use to move around with. Super cool. It's stop motion, and when they shoot them, they make these gross like noises, and it's all stop motion. All this blood like shoots out of them. It's really gory, especially for the 50s. But great little special effects scenes of these stop motion brains being hit with small arms fire and basically like exploding. So cool flick. Check it out. Check out the giant claw. I can't get enough. What a great monster design. I love it. Every time I see the giant claw, every time he comes on screen, I am happy. Just seeing that goofy thing. So wonderful. Brings me such joy. Hey, Jabland 223, thank you very much. Much appreciated. But yeah, Giant Claw can't be beat, you guys. Let's see, what are some other great 50s horror movies? You guys know I like It, the Terror from Beyond Space, and now that we're doing the Alien, we could talk about It, the Terror from Beyond Space. It's basically the movie Alien. Like, the movie Alien is basically a remake of the film It, the Terror from Beyond Space. Kind of. Connor, how do I get inspirations for my drawings? I don't know, man. I just love watching movies and comics and looking at things. I'll definitely say this, though, is try to visualize stuff in your head. Like if I see a cool monster and I'm like, wow, I'd love to do a drawing of that monster, like a fan drawing or whatever. I try to think about, like, what's a cool scene I could have that in, and try to picture what that would look like in my head first. I don't know if that's an ability I just have because I've been drawing for so long or what, but I'm inspired by everything. I love books, movies, television shows, comics, music, poetry, plays. There's just so much cool stuff out there. Let's see. Javelin, you like to draw too? That's awesome, man. What do you like to draw? And have I seen A Quiet Place? I have not. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I'd love to see it, Jared. Is it worth going to see? Because I will definitely check it out. And I'll definitely check it out then too. When it comes out on like DVD and stuff. I'll definitely check it out then. If I don't get to see it in the theater, I'll check it out then. But hopefully I'll get to go because I've heard it's pretty cool. Jared, I couldn't agree with you more. That's part of the reason I love it. Like I love an underdog. You know what I mean? And the giant claw is the world's biggest underdog. It just wants to be a scary monster, but it is so not. It's heartwarming. Oh, thank you, Javelin. Much appreciated. Very much. What kind of animals do you enjoy drawing? Like just all kinds, or a little bit of everything? Pardon me. Da, da, da. All right, let me check on this really quick. Looks like the rain has stopped, folks. That's a good thing. Although I kind of liked it. Not when it was crazy blowing my windows around, but nice and cool in here. I like that. A little bit of everything. That's awesome. Now, do you do pencil, marker, pen and ink, stuff like that, or like what materials or mediums do you prefer? I guess I should ask. And me, I definitely like me some monsters. But again, I like a little bit of everything. I do pictures of houses, people. I like portraiture, pets, animals. So, yeah, I'm everything. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see here. Hold on one second, you guys. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I like pencil too, man. That's, how should I put this? I love a lot of mediums. I do pen and ink here for marker and pen and ink here on the streams usually, because it's very, you can get a whole thing done. When I do pencils, it takes so long. But I love doing portraits and stuff in pencil. You know, Jared, I've heard that everybody likes that it's like very quiet in there, and you know what I mean? Like, I hear it's kind of an experience, as it were. Can you confirm that? But yeah, so go and check it out. I'll have to do that. Oh, that's awesome. Jablin, you don't color your drawings? I can understand that. When I do pencils, I rarely do that myself. I just kind of leave them as the lead. Here, hold on, I'll show you. I've been working on this thing, and I don't know if it'll show up well. But this is like maybe half done, but it's a pencil drawing of like this eye opening in the sky, roiling clouds, and there's some like ruins down here, cultists, stuff like that. So it's coming along. It's just taken a while to do. I have to kind of work on it between projects. So it's coming. It's taken forever. It's just a matter of finding the time to do it. But yeah, I'd love to do pencil drawings on the stream one of these days. It's just a time thing. Like when I did the picture of the Hammer, if anybody remembers this past Drawloween, I did the Hammer Frankenstein with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, and that took I don't know, like 2 days, I think, to do. I had to like leave the camera set up and stuff. So it's just so many hours tied up into something. So it's hard to do on a live stream, but I wouldn't mind doing it. Be fun. Oh, thanks, Jared. I still need to seal it. I'm actually, I'm like woefully behind, but I'm going to make prints of it for conventions coming up. Like I said, hopefully at the Monster Bash, I think that'll be a good print to go to, you know, have there, because it's the classic Monster Festival. Can't go wrong with that. Hi, Holo Nano. How you doing today? Welcome to the stream. And thank you very much. Yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along. You know, doing the colors is something that, like, I love it now. But when I started, like, one of the reasons I got into markers, and if you know, Javelin, if you don't like colors, this is kind of where I was. I wanted to get better with color, but didn't really know how to. So I got like 1 or 2 markers to start, and that way I could kind of take them with me, and literally just started putting color in. And the first ones turned out kind of crappy, but then you just draw more and you keep doing it, and that's how it is. And have fun with it. Like, you shouldn't be doing this unless it's enjoyable, you know. Have fun with the coloring too. And if you find you don't like it, then you never have to. But if you want to color, yeah, start with like 1 or 2 markers or crayons or colored pencils and just start adding them in. Wolf Creek, Connor, is that the one where it's a serial killer in the Australian outback? Is that the Wolf Creek that I'm thinking of? I think that's the one. Let me check here. Okay, Wolf Creek. I think that's the one. Yep. Jared, I would agree with you completely on that. It's it's one of those movies after you're watching it, you just feel drained. But yeah, very well done. And the guy who plays the killer, whatever his name is, I thought did a terrific job. I thought the whole cast did, but the guy had a lot of charisma, which I like. No idea what to draw. I'll help you out, Javelin. You should draw a monkey riding a giraffe. See, I'm helping. I don't know. Draw whatever you want, man. Have fun. Drawing is like, I don't know. I have, and I've always found it very relaxing. It's like soothing. And I love being able to like essentially create my own little universe. You know? Like, I love playing video games, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, you're subject to their programming. Like, you can't do more than what's programmed into the game. You know? And a lot of games now have even more programming than they did even when I was younger, which is awesome. But at the end of the day, it's like you'll never, unless you program your own, you'll never be able to do anything you want. And I find with like drawing and art, you can do anything you want. And I don't know, I find there's so much like freedom and excitement in that. Like, name a game where you could have the alien fight the Metaluna mutant. You know? So that, I don't know. So the art really, like, it just really gets me going. I like it. You know, Javelin, if you don't like the monkey riding a giraffe, you could completely 180 that and have a giraffe riding a monkey. You don't see that every day, kids. Yeah, man, draw whatever you're feeling. That's where I'm at, you know. Enjoy the creative freedom. Let's get this alien in here. Love these H.R. Geigers, like biomechanical, all the pipes and stuff. So cool. First time I ever saw a Xenomorph, like an alien like this, was the Gorilla Alien action figure that I had from the Aliens line. And I always thought the pipes were so cool, and I could never figure out, like, what is it? What does it all mean? What is it for? And then I saw the movies. I saw Aliens first, of course, because that was what the toy line was based off of, essentially. And I was shocked to see that all my favorite toy line characters did not make it out of the movie. Spoiler alert. But yeah, and then from there, you know, I remember watching Alien on TV. It was like the special movie on Fox 53. Edited to heck, of course, I learned later, but when I was a kid, it's like, you know, that's your only access to this R-rated movie. Your parents aren't going to let you rent. So very cool. And then, yeah, later saw... what is it called? Alien Resurrection in the theaters. Still like it to this day. It's got a lot of good memories for me, you know. It's good times. Yeah, that Gorilla Alien action figure. Man, wish I still had that thing. You always wonder what happened to it. It's probably buried in the dirt at my parents' house somewhere. But it's like, as you get older, you're like, man, I wish I would have kept those toys that I had when I was a kid. Because they were cool as heck. Cool as heck. Draw a frog? Yeah. I would definitely draw a frog would be awesome. Do a frog doing something cool or unexpected. Frog is a traffic cop. Draw a frog playing basketball. Did you ever see the movie Air Bud? Anybody ever see that? Where this golden retriever can dunk, so they get him to be on a basketball team, and the rules of basketball don't explicitly state that dogs can't play basketball, thus they allow him to do that. You could do a frog that has joined a basketball team because of his ability to dunk is very Air Bud. Maybe this frog's like 3-point shot is incredible. They hire him on. Or you could do a frog who is a monster, like a Frankenfrog, or a zombie frog, or Dracula frog. Good stuff, man. Oh, you play basketball in real life. Nice. Draw a basketball player shooting. That's a cool. It's always good to get the like actions in there. I find that's unless you kind of give a little bit of practice to that, that's tough to just go right into like, what's a guy look like shooting a basketball? So that is always a good bet. This is like the worst angle for this. This looks sloppy as heck in the background, but you know what? That's okay. I'm okay with that. Because it's the background. It doesn't need to be amazing. Like in terms of the line quality and stuff. Some like weird buildings and stuff. Alright, so let's do this other little tower building here. And then we'll go in with the markers, do our touch-ups, add in those crazy veins on this Metaluna mutant's head. Like a champion. Good. Good, great, grand, wonderful. A husky, like a dog? Sure. I can do anything. I mean, not to toot my own horn, but like that's what I mean about the freedom with drawing. Like you can do anything. Alright, let's get out the 0.5. I'm just gonna add in some texture lines here. Boom. That. Same within here in the eyes. That's good for now until we get in with our markers. Let me get a drink here. Ba-ba-bum. Hang on a sec here. I'm pulling these out. Okie dokie. All right. There we go. Boom, markers. Love it. Lipstick red, folks. So this is going to be a little squirrely because colors like this tend to pick up the ink really easily and smear it around, so just gotta be nice and careful here. We're adding all these cool veins to the side of his head, and then he's got like a bundle down here. That kind of fills him out nicely, I feel. He feels a little more done that way. That's pretty good. Now we'll do the ones on his shoulders. Yeah. Yeah, I love the way that on the mutant here, the blue and the red like plays off one another. Great, just great design. I know I've said that. I know I sound like a broken record, but like that's really cool. It's a good look for a sweet monster. Oh, thanks, Chaplin. Thank you. Alright, so next up I want to do just a wee bit of blend in here. Not much, but just get that blended a little more. And now we're going to go in with the white paint pen Actually, no. I lied. We're going to go in with our blue 99 and just touch up a couple of these little splotches here. There's just a couple of places where I'm not liking what they're looking like. And get that in. Okay. Good, good, good. Oh, thank you, Jablin. If you want, I mean, you could use my PayPal if you want. That might be easier. Hang on a second. My PayPal here. Let me put it in the chat for you. If you want, no pressure. There you go. That is my PayPal address. If you want to make a donation, you can make it there if you want. It is up to you, but thank you very much. Much appreciated. So let's draw in some cool... Well, let's erase here first. I see some pencil lines in the teefies. That's no good. Cool alien saliva coming out. Just have like rivers of this stuff oozing out of their mouths. And then we can use it too to make another white streak here in the dome. A little bit of cool highlight. I think this turned out great. This was a great idea to do that. I don't know. I have fun with it. I like it. Oh, well, thank you, Jablin. Much appreciated, my friend. Much appreciated. Connor, what do I think of the Jersey Devil? I like it. I think it's a cool urban legend. I think it's like, I don't know, really neat. As far as if I think it's real or not, it's like any urban legend to me. I have no idea, but I hope so. I think the world is a much cooler, spookier place with Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster and all those fun guys running around in it. So, I hope so. But I don't know. But the Jersey Devil, I think, is really cool. I've never been to New Jersey before, unfortunately. But I'd love to go to the Pine Barrens and just take a look at that. Oh, Jablin, I believe me, my friend, I certainly have. Bigfoot, Mothman. If you want to see other art on my YouTube channel, there are other non-streaming videos, just like standard little 10-minute. I've drawn Bigfoot, the Mothman, Chupacabra, I think, is on there. A couple other cryptids are up on the channel, so check it out if you ever get a moment. And that's youtube.com/markersandmonsters. Let me throw that in here. Markers and Monsters. And if you're on Twitch, there is a link down there. It's the YouTube, what's it called? Link. But yeah, good stuff. Yep, first link under schedule. Schedule's on there twice. Don't know why. Need to fix that. I just realized. Okay, so I'm thinking that that is starting to run down here. This drawing. Let me put in some stars above, because I know how much you guys love watching me do stars. Almost as much as I love putting them in. And we're just going to do a couple today. Nothing too spectacular. So that's cool. I think this turned out kind of awesome. I dig it like a freaking garden. I'm happy with it. Let me check the time. Hang on one second. Okie dokie. And we'll sign it up down here at the bottom. Call in 18. That'll be a good one. I think definitely for somebody that is into aliens and monster movies and stuff, that will definitely go at one of my conventions coming up. So that's cool. I dig it. Like I said, like a freaking garden, I like it. Thank you, Jared. Much appreciated. Okay, Jablin. Thank you very much. I dig it, guys. So I can stream for maybe a couple more minutes. So if you guys want to do like we do a trading card just pretty quick, something like that. You guys let me know what you want to see and we can get into it. So I'm going to grab some water. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes. You can decide what do you think is a good trading card to do. Oh. All right, Jablin, I am ready for it. All right, good water, delicious. Let me close down my tabs and my Xenomorph. Don't need my EC comics, my Metaluna Mutant. But good times have been had. Jersey Devil, Connor Halligan with the Jersey Devil. We could do that. $500. Bye, Jablin. Thank you very much. We'll see you later. Jersey Devil. All right. I know it's got bat wings. I know it's got cloven feet. I hear it was born to a witch at one point in time. I know it's creepy. So let's figure it out here. What does the Jersey Devil have? Kangaroo-like creature with the head of a goat, leathery bat wings, horns, small arms with clawed hands, cloven hooves, and a flippin' forked tail. That is a lot of crap to jam in to a tiny trading card. But I'm up for the challenge. Let's flippin' do this thing. I'm going to try to zoom us in. If it gets too fuzzy, let me know and I'll zoom back out. How's that, you guys? How does that look to you guys? Okay. Okay, Jersey Devil. Where's my sharpener? All right, you guys, what's the only song anybody knows from the Black Eyed Peas? Let's get it started in here. Should this thing look friendly or creepy as heck? I'm going for creepy as heck. Creepy? Right on. I'm digging the creepiness. Too bad I'm not going to be able to get those cloven hooves in there really well. But sacrifices must be made on a tiny, tiny scale like this. So a barbed tail. I wonder what that's going to look like. Okay, cool. I think that's all we need to start doing our markering. Actually, one last thing here. Okay, there we go. I like that. All right, so does the Jersey Devil have... Is it supposed to have a color? I don't know. What do you think? Should it be red or should it kind of be like a dull, like a gray, like it's an actual creature? Kind of thinking that. So we'll start with that. Just kind of getting stuff slapped on in there. This is how we do it. E70. Let's move on to a light pinkish color. Actually, let me erase some of this before I start throwing in light colors because it tends to make a mess. We'll see if we can get this done here before we have to go, before I have to go, I should say. I don't know what you guys have to do, but I got to get running here relatively soon to go to the CAN membership meeting tonight. So that'll be good. Oh. Got to get that barbed tail in there. Cool, cool. So what's everybody's favorite cryptids? I love, I think one of my all-time favorites is the Mothman. He's pretty cool. I like Bigfoot, of course. I like UFOs and aliens, of course. What's everybody out there in chat land into? And does anybody remember the Leonard Nimoy show In Search Of from back in the day? Because I sure as heck do. That was good stuff. Loch Ness Monster, good call. Oh, you're from Scotland. Very cool. My wife was just in England, actually. She was for business. She was north of Liverpool. So about 2 hours from the border, she said. But I've always wanted to go to Scotland. And I've always wanted to visit Loch Ness because, well, Nessie. I think that's awesome. Now, I know people have said that, oh, Nessie's a hoax, but I don't care. She'll always be real in my book. But she's definitely a cool cryptid. I should do a marker. I should do a full Markers and Monsters episode on Nessie. Do a little research, get in there. That sounds good. Definitely done Bigfoot before, but not Nessie. I think Nessie's pretty cool. I like the Yeti 2 is another good one, I think. Alright, now let's start adding in that back wing. Like that, and then it would come down this way. There we go. That's alright then. And then what are we thinking for a background on this? I just want like a nice solid-ish color. Maybe a purpley color. Something vibrant. Hello again, Javelin. How are you? Welcome back to the stream, where we are drawing the Jersey Devil. I don't know. I'm thinking of purplish, but what do you guys think? Light blue. Javelin, I will, if we have time, we will, but I will have to get going here before too long. Probably only another 10 minutes in the stream. Maybe a little more than that, but if we can get to it, we'll get to it, okay? And I think that will be a good idea. A husky dog. What do you think of that, Connor? Light blue. And this thing's definitely going to come out more in, I think, the ink. So if you're a little worried now, don't be. Don't be. Okay, there we go. go. And very nice. That turned out pretty good. Good. Good, good, good. Draw Groot, Javelin. I like it. Groot is a favorite. I loved him in Infinity War. Good times. And don't worry, no spoilers. There's our nice light blue color. And let's get into the inks here. And get these done. So I'm going to start up here with the horn. And just try to get that in there real nice. And we'll go in later. Okay, good. Horn 1 in. Now we can go into 2, which is the mouth. And I'm just kind of going to give it a quickie. I don't think the Jersey Devil has like sharp teeth or anything. But he does have fur. Baby goats are so flippin' cute. I love them. Alright guys, looks like it's getting to be about 5:15, so I'm going to have to call it quits, but let me throw in at least one of the arms for you. And maybe we'll pick this guy back up next week, because I'm going to have to run off to my meeting. But give him some sharp claws. There we go. And we can always fill these in here with some color later and touch it up. But I think it's looking good. So I'm going to call it quits there, guys. Like I said, unfortunately, I do have to run off to a meeting here. But thanks for sticking around. Thanks for joining me and hanging out and having fun on a Thursday. I had a good time, and I love that Metaluna picture we got done. And be sure to join me next week. And we'll do more fun art shenanigans and stuff. So, all right, guys. Thanks again so much. And thanks, everybody, for joining in. Thanks for hosting. Thanks to new people. Just thanks all around, man. Good stuff. So, that's it. All right, guys. We'll talk to you on the next one. Have a good night. Bye.